Welcome back, everybody, to another recap, review, rewind for What If the finale, episode 9. Spoilers for all of this for the entire season. This one asks the question, what if the watcher, what if he's just like, I'm getting right in. I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm going to dig my dirty hands into every universe.
Now, some people have said in the past, of course these universes aren't going to merge. These people aren't going to team up. And I'm one of them, James, and I'm like, there's no way to prove it. There's still no way to prove that these universes are going to merge in any way.
We just don't know.
Yeah.
It's too early. It's too early to make the call either way.
Maybe season 2, but that's pretty, it's too early to call it. When this episode started, I kind of hoped it was going to be the Watcher, like, anxiously calling up one of his fellow Watchers on the phone, being like, I messed up, man. We're only supposed to watch, but I leaned in too close and I said something real loud, and then they saw I was there, and then I got in a fist fight with somebody. Yeah, just from a regular universe.
Seeing as he's looking over everything, also if people could leave it like that, that would be absolutely terrific. And thank you to those who sign up at bigsandwich.co who gets these. You get these early, Mason. But who's his boss? Because he's talking about like an oath, and he's watching the entirety of the multiverse. I know there are other watchers in the universe, but does he have like a person that he goes to?
That's a great question. My assumption was that all the Watchers made an oath amongst themselves.
Oh, okay. It's a collective.
But there are beings that are more powerful than the Watcher in the Marvel comic book universe. We just haven't seen them in the MCU yet. So there's Eternity.
Yep.
There's the Living Tribunal.
Oh yeah, Three-Face.
He's a bit judgy, so maybe it's him. Could be Three-Face man.
He's been hinted at in Loki, I believe, right?
Oh yeah,
there's like a statue of him or something.
Okay, well maybe that's the boss, and he's like, "Oh, you are too. You've broken your oath. I need you to fill out this form in triplicate." And then they all wink. They know what's up.
They swivel and wink. That's what they do.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, look, it's all been building to this. Well, some of this has been building to this, I should say, because it doesn't wrap up every loose end. But yeah, we do get a lot of the returning cast. I don't think there's really anybody new here in terms of actors, but there are a couple new characters that we do see, which I can get to in a minute. But Hayley Atwell, Lake Bell, George St. Pierre, Chris Hemsworth, Benedict Cumberbatch, Tom Hiddleston, Kurt Russell, who they must have got in for seconds, you know?
Sure, yes.
He's barely been in it. Also, it's worth mentioning that this is actually Chadwick Boseman's final performance. Like, this is it. This was the last
one,
thing that he would have recorded, and which is, very sad. That sucks. That's the last we'll see of any of the work that he does. Obviously there'll be nothing new from this point on.
Well, James, you've left me wide open for a big joke, and I don't have one.
Wow, I gave you so much. I said I was gonna say a fitting tribute to Chadwick Boseman, and then you jump in and lighten the mood. We decided that before the episode.
That's right.
Here's something, though. I was glad up top that they quickly deviated from we're just going to do the Winter Soldier again, Because there was a bit of that. They jump down to the boat, and then there's Batroc the Leaper, and then we quickly shift into the recruitment, the team up. And what did you think of the multiverse team, the Guardians of the Multiverse?
I mean, quite Avengery, certainly.
Sure. Yep.
You've got your classic Captain America style hero. You've got you've got a member of the Guardians. You've got a man who's very, very obviously going to betray them. So that's all you need, I think.
That's true. Obviously, Dark Doctor Strange makes a reappearance. Now we also see Gamora, who's the version that killed Thanos, and also Tony Stark in like a Sakaar Iron Man armor. That's a missing episode.
And this was something that was going to be teased, right? That was teased in the trailers, but it's not a missing episode. More that it's just
it is.
Universe we didn't really. Oh, it is. How'd that happen?
Yeah, because of pandemic, essentially.
Oh, sure.
So a lot of these episodes were supposed to be also longer. They're supposed to be like 40 to 45 minutes. So maybe that's also why some of these, feel a little bit rushed. But yeah, it did feel like these characters, or those two, just kind of dropped in out of nowhere. And it's because they had a whole episode where they basically did Thor Ragnarok with Tony Stark and Gamora.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be on the DVD.
Maybe it might be on the DVD.
When DVDs come back into fashion somehow.
Oh, my goodness.
Do you think they'll release it on a laser disc?
Maybe they will.
Do you think they'll release it on a jazz drive, James? I haven't finished talking my outmoded storage mediums. Do you think they'll release it on an 8-track tape that I can put in my Camaro?
I forgot that you get on this roll without.
Do you think, James, they'll draw it on a cave wall? The missing episode, they'll draw it on a cave wall. Do you think that?
They might very well. They might do think that. Yeah.
Wow.
So here's the thing about this team. Like, I initially had some questions of like, some of these people in this team are just normal people.
Sure.
And, and you're going up against a being who can literally do anything. And by anything, I mean shoot a lot of lasers. But I guess they end up with a protection spell. But even things like you pick Party Thor, like that's the version of Thor that you choose.
Yeah, right.
Like from across, an infinite number of realities. But I believe because the Watcher has the ability to kind of foresee what's going to happen, he picked this particular team because then he gets the outcome that he wants.
Well, exactly. Also, it is entirely possible they've gone the DC's Legends of Tomorrow route, where Uatu, the Watcher, has chosen a bunch of people who are losers and no one will miss. And if they die, no big deal,
Yeah, you might absolutely be right. What do you think about the Infinity Crusher? This thing that that may have been introduced in that episode we didn't see, but it's just this device.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
This is a thing that destroys Infinity Stones, I guess, and also it's got crab legs and it climbs up to you and it climbs on your body and it crushes all the Infinity Stones, or it doesn't, as it turns out.
It's interesting because I feel like their initial mission was to just get a Soul Stone.
Yeah.
And I thought they were just going to crush one Infinity Stone because realistically, like you can do a lot of damage with 5 Infinity Stones, but you can't end the universe with 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I thought the mission was just to get rid of 1. Why were they after the Soul Stone specifically? Just to mess with him?
I guess it's just maybe it's one of the ones you can actually physically hold. I don't actually know.
It's probably true, yeah.
No, I honestly, maybe they explained it. Maybe it was something that was edited out for COVID. Oh, we should mention that, like, we record these pretty much straight after we watch them. So we miss some things. We don't often miss some things. Actually, I don't think we've ever missed a thing. And let's not miss anything this week. Are you with me?
We've never missed anything, and sometimes we infer some things, and then later the creators of the show email us, and they go, "Oh my God, I didn't put that in the script, but I was feeling it when I wrote the script." You guys,
we can't show those emails. We can't show them because that's
we promised them we wouldn't do that.
Right.
I feel like what I loved about this episode was there was some amazing kind of like light and particle effects, which I think were cool. Like you mentioned, Strange's protection spell. I think Ultron had some like amazing like Jack Kirby crackle when he was sort of firing all his many lasers. But like going back to the actual like plot element that that brings up, the protection spell did kind of feel like a cop out.
Yeah,
even if you say, okay, well, Doctor Strange is like the most powerful sorcerer supreme there's ever been. Again, you are dealing with a villain who can end the universe with a snap of their fingers if they want to, and yet they're having trouble getting through these. Protective spells. Is that?
I guess like to Doctor Strange's credit, I guess. Well, this particular version, he's a monster. Like he's just filled with the energy of like 1,000 different psychopaths and squid.
Yes, that's true.
Creatures and whatever. I don't know whether that makes a difference. But
and also, maybe they're different Infinity Stones. Like they're from another universe. So like
sure,
it did seem to suggest in the What If Ultron had one episode, he's going out there and he's destroying planets one by one. So maybe that's what he loves doing. Maybe that's all these stones can do, or maybe because he's like an artificial entity, he cannot conceive of destroying the whole universe in one movement.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like maybe he doesn't have the organic capacity to do that.
Yeah.
So
well, I think also because we did.
Where's my no prize, Marvel?
But we also did see in the last episode where when he thought he'd destroyed all the life, or when he did destroy all the life in his universe, it was kind of like, oh, now I don't have anything to do. Oh, look, there's a multiverse. Now I'm going to take my time jumping from multiverse to multiverse. So without destroying stuff, he is aimless. He doesn't have anything to do. Yeah, like with Thanos, he wanted to snap everything and then cook soup.
Okay. Cook soup. Yeah, so
where's my no prize, Marvel?
Yeah, Ultron ultimately wanted to really take his time and savor all the universe ending. So maybe, to him, a snap of the fingers would be unsatisfying. He wants to really just, slice and dice some innocence.
Exactly.
Don't we all?
No. I had to think about it and no.
That was a test, James, and you passed the test.
I did really enjoy like a bunch of Doctor Strange wizard stuff in this. I love a good wizard battle and even things like the multiple Mjolnirs. Like he's using dragons, he's doing all sorts of things. On the flip side of that, like I really enjoyed that whole battle. But again, with the lasers, it's like he can do a lot of different things with, I don't think we got the full potential, of things you might be able to see in animation because it's an unlimited budget. We've talked about it. You know what I mean?
It's very true. Yeah,
really
you can do anything. It was just a lot of different colored lasers, wasn't it?
It still looked good.
Yeah, it looked delightful.
But how did you feel about But how do you feel about the USB arrow? It's back to save the day.
I mean, great. I loved that they actually did a callback from a previous universe, even though it was, the previous episode. I wonder if we were going to get the Gamora Tony Stark episode in between the last episode and this one, because that would have provided a little bit of distance, and then we would have gone, oh, the arrow, I remember. But nevertheless, I loved seeing Arnim Zola in a chess television the way he was meant to be.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We've never got it in a movie. It did happen in the Captain America video game.
Yes.
The one that's set like during that first movie. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I love Stomach Zola. You know what I mean? I'm a big fan.
Arnim Tummy Zola.
Yes. I thought, though, the ending of this might have resulted in each of them taking an Infinity Stone and then going to their different dimensions, because often that's a thing in the Marvel Universe. What's that group called? The Illuminati or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the regular Marvel Universe, some of the primo heroes each hold on to an Infinity Stone so it doesn't get into the wrong hands. And some would argue many of them are the wrong hands. But
sure.
I thought that's the way that episode was going to go. So
yeah, I just think also like don't call yourself the Illuminati. It's a little sus,
Yeah.
Maybe pick
call
another
yourselves
name.
The goodies. The goodies was taken though. So what are you going to do?
But no, I didn't mind that they were kind of stuck in this endless loop, like pocket dimension. That Doctor Strange is like, fine, I'll watch this, I guess.
Yeah,
I'll do this one.
I'm not the one who has Watcher in my name, but I guess I'll watch this. Thanks, pal. Thanks for giving me your work. This was more. There was a little bit of
it's an outsourcing.
Yeah, there was a little bit of outsourcing in this. And speaking of like office drudgery, I love there was a moment in this where Ultron gets his Soul Stone sort of taken away by I think T'Challa, and he goes,
"Yeah,
you stole my Soul Stone," and he said it with like that really bland affect of like a guy in an office who just learned you ate his yogurt out of the fridge.
My stone. You stole my Soul Stone?
Like, oh, you stole my soul. Oh,
come on, man.
I'd be mad, but I'm just sad. Actually, really.
I put my name on that. That was my last one. I had a 6-pack. Come on, man. Sorry, I thought that for everyone. It's a communal fridge. Come on, man.
Come on, man. Would you thought your name was Ultron? Come on, man.
So the Natasha who's from the Ultron universe, she gets a bit of a happy ending where she gets dumped in a different dimension.
Yeah.
And my initial impression was, oh, is this the regular MCU universe where they lost a Black Widow and they put one back in? But it's obviously very quickly revealed to be the episode where all the Avengers, or most of the Avengers, are murdered and Loki's just running amok.
Yeah. That would be a very bold move if in an animated spin-off on Disney Plus they brought a new Black Widow into the regular MCU.
Yeah.
And in the next movie, in like Avengers 4 or 5, they're just like, hey, she came back. She's back. The Watcher did it.
In a cartoon.
What I like about the ramifications of that is she's probably going to tell some people about that. And then it's going to get around the multiverse. And then the Watcher's just going to get a whole bunch of emails from people being like, hey, we lost our Captain America. Do you have a universe? Can you do a ring around? Can you find a universe where everybody died except Captain America? Because we'll take that Captain America.
Yeah. Or really like, any Captain America. We'll take a Captain Hydra. We could probably turn him around a little bit,
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. So there was a couple of Easter eggs of that I saw of note. So this what really for me wasn't a very Easter egg heavy episode, I guess, because they were too busy lasering each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's mention of a character called Bernard who works in accounting, or Bernard, I believe it is, which could be a nod to the character of Bernard from Westworld, who is of course played by the Watcher himself,
Jeffrey Wright.
It's like, what's Jeffrey Wright? Thank you. My brain kept going, say Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And I'm like, no, I will not say Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
That's a different comic man.
Well, Bernard Stark, I don't know if you remember this I think it's from Agent Carter, is a flamingo that lives on like the Stark property. So that might also be a nod to that.
Okay.
And I thought also the pairing of Tony Stark and Gamora might be also a nod to the comics where they have a relationship in like...
Yeah, it could be.
At some point in time. But again, we didn't see that episode, so who knows?
No, that's true. I mean, it might also be a nod to the start of Endgame where it's Tony and Nebula...
Oh, yeah, sure.
Up in that derelict spaceship, so maybe it's just a little nod to that. Maybe in that universe, it was them in the spaceship. That works out time-wise. It doesn't, but I'm going with it anyway. I started the sentence and I'm going to finish it.
Good as any.
Yeah.
So what do you think of, though, the mid-credits scene? Do you think we're going to get a Winter Soldier Hydra Stomper? Do you think that's where that's going? Is there someone else in that suit? Is it happy-go-lucky Steve Rogers?
It's interesting. The line was the Hydra Stomper, and there's someone inside. And I've written, the corpse of Steve Rogers, ? What a fun little... Come on, Peggy, this is what you wanted. You wanted one last look at your dead lover. There he is. Did we see in that... Because it's been a million years. How did we see the final scene of that first episode go? Does he crash into the Atlantic and freeze over as a Winter Soldier?
I believe so.
Yeah,
no,
right.
I don't think that happens at all. She just pushes the squid through and then they're separated. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It reminds me of the movie Forever Young with Mel Gibson, where he's frozen from World War II and then wakes up in the 90s and Elijah Wood's there. And he's like, I'm famous child actor Elijah Wood. I haven't been in Lord of the Rings yet.
Whoa.
Seen the movie Forever Young?
No, but I don't need to now. That was so evocative. It's like I was in the cinema with you. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, could he have... Maybe he's been on all sorts of... Well, maybe he was on all sorts of World War II adventures after Peggy disappeared and he gained eternal youth. Maybe he's got that infinity formula that some... Nick Furies have in some universes, so maybe he's...
That's true, yeah.
And maybe it's just some nice pure air inside that Hydra Stomper keeps you young, you know?
Yeah, maybe it is. But it is, though, we know, a hint towards season 2. And I've got a quote here from head writer A.C. Bradley, who spoke to EW about what we're going to get for season 2. Are you ready for any of this, Mason?
I'm ready. As I'll ever be.
Sure.
We just went through a heck of a finale, so I don't know.
Absolutely.
Maybe I'll just collapse weeping. We'll see.
Going into the second season, we're sticking with the anthology form, and it's going to be all new stories, lots of fun, new heroes, and pulling more from Phase 4 than we're obviously able to this season. Hopefully we'll see hints of the Eternals and Shang-Chi and the Black Widow characters. The fun of What If is that we get to explore the entire infinite multiverse, so we'll try and bounce around as much as we can. I want to play with all these characters, and as much as I love Captain Carter, we've got to share the love. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to show new worlds, new heroes. So yeah, apparently it's also, all of this is not designed to set up any kind of Avengers 5 storyline.
Okay.
But it does seem as if that some of this might bleed over into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I don't know if you've seen, there's been some alleged leaked concept art over the last few weeks, which we won't show here, where maybe some elements hinted at in here might show up, or it could be a coincidence. And I think we're just going to be getting all manner of universes in that anyway. And maybe this is just a primer for, just to let people know, again, because I think they need to remind people as much as possible before that movie comes out about what can happen in this universe. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Maybe they could just show What If in its entirety pre-Multiverse of Madness, just like one of those little cartoons that they used to show before a matinee.
Oh, I see, like a little Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Yeah.
Terrific stuff. So look, we're going to be going, aren't we, Mason? But we'll be back on November 24th for the release of Hawkeye, the televisual series.
That's right.
Hopefully we'll be doing recaps again. Collings, who's been editing these the entire time. My goodness, how does he do it? Editing software, skill, commitment, blood, sweat, tears. A lot of tears, I'd imagine. Caffeine? You know what I mean?
All those things, yes, absolutely.
He does an amazing job. But between now and then, we have a podcast called The Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. Because we're in lockdown at the moment, we've missed a few of the major releases, including Venom 2, including Shang-Chi, but we will be out of lockdown soon and also in time for the Eternals. So hopefully, that's the plan at least.
Oh boy, you've said it now, James, and you know what happens now.
Someone's going to fire a USB arrow into my eye,
That's exactly right.
I'm not going to be able to see anything.
We're going to be in lockdown. I'm not going to be able to get my little tattoo that says I love YouTube content creation, and then there's the YouTube button. Did you see his little microscope
right.
tattoo? Thor's little microscope tattoo?
I did.
Said science on it. What a delight.
That's good stuff. But also, obviously, there's videos here all the time. We're actually covering the Amazing Spider-Man movies for Caravan of Garbage starting next week. And a lot of this stuff, really all of it, can be seen early at bigsandwich.co, including bonus podcasts and movie commentaries and things like that. We also recently did Daredevil 2003. My goodness. But I'm out of here. And Mason, are you also going to get out of here?
No, I'm going to stick around.
Okay, Mason's got to stick around, but I'm going to go. I'm at Mr. Sunday Movies on Twitter.
I'm Wikipedia Brown on Twitter, but don't go there yet because I'm still saying things. So, still around. Don't go anywhere. Don't go checking on Twitter pages. Still here. It's other stuff happening in this. Pretty good.
Oh no, he's fallen asleep.
I don't have anything else. The tank is empty.
That's right. And at Raw Colleagues as well on Twitter if you want to give him a follow, which you should. Okay, thanks everybody for watching. We really appreciate it.
Grab that jam, you guys. We will see you next week.
Goodbye.